Hey, Kajun Roots Reseller, you give me an offer and I'll take it.
I say, this is Johnny's place, where you can have it for no problem. I got the dollars.
Fixed income, no credit, bad credit. Here at Kajun Roots Reseller, that's no problem.
Let them have it.
I've got my dollars and I sit in my best offer.
We say yes. See the special man. The easiest man on YouTube.
You got the dollars? We got the offer? Let them have it with no problem. Hello, and good morning on this TGIF. How's everybody doing this morning? Good to see y'all. It is a crispy 28 degrees, and everything is frozen outside, so I'm staying indoors. How they call that? Hibernation is what's happening this weekend. First in the chat is Mr. Mark and Mike. Hello, good morning, and welcome. And Gina, hello, good morning, and welcome. Pam, hello, good morning, and welcome. And Perlini, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how you doing? Sue, hello, good morning, and welcome. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. And there's Jennifer dropping the links already. Today's guest will be Laura. She'll be here momentarily. She had to bring her kids to school, but that'll give me time to tell everybody hello and go through the calendar and all that good stuff. Mark, hello, good morning, and welcome, sir. How are you doing? Good to see you. Nora, hello, good morning, and welcome. And there's Lisa, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. And there's our featured channel of the week, Purple Winks. Good to see y'all this morning. And there is Geneva. Hello, good morning, and welcome. And Susie, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? All right, let me do this real quick. I'll start dropping some links, and then I'll go through the calendar. Also, do not forget, if you happen to see Adopted Retrospects Kim in any chat today, blow the chat up. It's her birthday today, so tell her happy birthday when you see her. I haven't seen her yet, but she's probably sleeping in late this morning. I don't blame her. I would too, if I could. Let's see here. I'm dropping Jennifer's links for her because you know she never drops her own links. There's her YouTube channel. She's been putting out some videos and content lately. Check her out. Her Etsy store where she puts a lot of that stuff that she does on Journey in their Etsy store. Let's see here. Roaster Ray, Miss Sue. Hello, good morning, and welcome. How are you doing? I'm on lunch. Well, thank you for popping in. Good to see you. There's Purple Winks, our featured channel of the week. And there's Tommy. Hello, good morning, and welcome. How you doing, sir? Johnny, drop her link. You have been busy to do it. Johnny, drop her link. You have been too busy to do it. Oh, okay. Well, I'm trying to do it as much as I can. Hello, how are you doing, Ray? Good to see you. Good morning. Roy, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Ray. It's Roy. Good morning, hello, and welcome. Good to see you. How you been? Long time no see. Back to all the stress. Ooh, okay. Sorry to hear that. But glad you're back. I know. I watched it this morning. Y'all need to go watch her first video. She dropped the video this morning, y'all. It is funny. That poor baby was holding on for dear life. That's all I'm saying. It was pretty funny. Yes, I did watch it this morning. Purple Winks. And Mara Buying Space. Hello, good morning, and welcome. And Peddling Profits. Hello. Today is Roy's birthday, too. Is it today? Why? I thought it was last month. I thought he was celebrating today, though. Well, I guess I'll add him to the calendar. I didn't realize it was today. I saw he was doing some type of celebration or something for this weekend. Horizon Bigs. Okay. Forgot what I was going to do. All right, I'm adding it to the calendar right now. I hope it's correct because I think I saw he was doing something this evening. Let's see, every month, every year, save. and save. All right, it's on the calendar now. And I forgot to change it to purple. I'm trying to get everybody's birthday in purple so I can see the different colors of what's what, because I do everything in colors on the calendar. All event and save. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, let's see. Who else is here? Kim needs to get her rest. Yes, she does. Melissa, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Stacy, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. And working Patrick. Hello, Patrick. Good morning. Hello and welcome, sir. How are you doing? Good to see you. All right, let me go over the calendar for today because there's a lot. It's a Friday too. So let's see here. Starting at 9 o'clock is Silver Hair Stacker Todd. At 9:45 is Nora, the Stock Explorer. At 10 o'clock, you have a Save Here First with Ella and Victoria going live at 10. At 10 o'clock, you have Stacey May's Catitude. She goes live 7 days a week, and she does a lot of her crafting on her lives. Check her out if you're into crafting. 11:30 is Jackass Retro. 12 o'clock is Roy's Horizon Picks a solo sale, and that's at noon. 1 o'clock is Let's Do Lunch Podcast. And if there are going live today, then it'll be the TGIF Buy Now Sell Auction with Adopted Retrospects channel. 2 o'clock, you have Janine's Twin Sister Sale. That's at 2. And at 5 o'clock, you have the New England Thrifter Helen go live at 5. At 5 o'clock, you also have Sabrina Simon Says, Let's Make a Deal. At 6 o'clock, you also have Deb's Wood Burning. At 6 o'clock, you also have Jiminy Flip It, where he does a lot of his listings and going through questions. If anybody has any questions about postcards, ephemera, and any of the magazines, old ads, and things like that, he does that on his show every Friday at 6 and also every Monday at 7. 6:45 is I Spy Queen. At 7 o'clock is Steve Looking for Silver. At 7:30 is Mess Hall Diggs live for no reason. So check them out. 8 o'clock is Horizon Picks Comic Sale. That is tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take some coffee here. And then at 9 o'clock is Jeff going live at 9. At 9 o'clock, you also have Vintage Jewels, Gems and Pearls, Margie. And the end of the night, beginning of the weekend, is Steph Sells Stuff by the Seashore. And that's at midnight. So check those out. I did have somebody reach out to me. I did update the calendar for those who sent me messages. They're on the calendar now. So definitely check out the calendar. It is open to all to see. Frugal, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. And that calendar link is in the description bar, in the comment section below. And it should be the second comment now. Or would it be the third? I think it's the second. Let me double check. Yep, the second post. I just did the feature channel of the week this morning, so this is the second post. Oh, my bad. I thought he said it was today. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he was celebrating it today. Or maybe this weekend. I don't know now. I know Purple Winks' birthday is Sunday. So happy early birthday, Purple Winks. Yep, this Sunday's her birthday. And actually, this Sunday will make 11 months we've had Chai. Because next month makes a year. He's come a long way. Let's see. Everybody's saying hello to each other. Happy early birthday. Jeff is at 7 p.m. open panel every 2 weeks. Yeah, I know. That's what I said, Jeff. That's why I just said Jeff. But did he change his time? All right, he never got back with me, so I'm not sure. I just know that there's been some changes, so they never got back with me. I know that it was no longer on April's channel, so I didn't realize they even changed the time because no one told me anything. So I'll deal with that later. Cheryl, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? Good morning, hello, and welcome, John. Let's see. Thank you for checking out. Yes, that was pretty cool. I like that motorcycle. It was pretty cool. You got some work to do with it, but yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. A little work. Get you some little extra money on it. Yep. You're right about that. Let's see here. So what does everybody have planned for the weekend? I know we got some bad weather this weekend. We got some more snow coming tomorrow. All this cold weather. Everything's freezing. So we'll be hibernating this weekend. I'll be doing a lot of work in the house. I've been going through a lot of inventory, getting pictures taken, doing some listings every day. Yesterday, I forgot to tell y'all, I had purchased from an antique store a chocolate book. It was all about chocolate and cocoa here in Massachusetts from 1912. I paid $5 for it, and I wound up selling it through. I also sell through Bonanza, like on my I do cross posts where I pull everything from eBay to Bonanza. Been doing it for almost 2 years now, and it's sold through Bonanza actually. And I wound up selling it for $103.75. It was a 1912, first published here in Massachusetts. You just never know what's going to sell. Then also sold another book on Amazon. So I've been doing some sales on Amazon as well, here and there. So, but I have to get some more listings. So I've been working on that. Pam, how are you doing? Good morning. Hello, and welcome. Grandkids' birthday party this weekend. Awesome. Let's see. Don't be a bum and hit the thumb. That does help the channel. I'm just trying to kill time here because we're waiting on Laura to come in. She's had to bring her children to the school. Cool Ranch Doritos. Hello, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? Dee Dee. Hello, hello, good morning and welcome. And I didn't know this, Cool Ranch Dorito, that you are now collaborating with Harold's channel for his shows on Monday and Wednesday. So I added that to the calendar this morning because I got that notification this morning. So awesome. Good to see you collaborating with the others. So today our questions and answers are going to be with Laura, DzinesLaura. She is running a little late because she did have to bring her kids to school. So she'll get here when she can, as soon as she gets back home. So also don't forget, Monday through Friday is a little different on each show now. Monday, I already have a topic ready for YouTube for Monday. Monday will be, of course, YouTube question and answers kind of thing, and some topics about YouTube for Monday. Tuesday is with Tommy, the Bargain Effects, and it's every Tuesday with Q&A, all about eBay. And then on Wednesdays, there's Q&A, and it's What Not Wednesdays with Anthony, full-time reseller. Thursdays is with Glamor's Closet with all Q&A about Poshmark. And today we're starting with is PayPal still the only pay options for Bonanza? I don't think so. I think they have multiple payments per Bonanza. Because as far as I know, when I looked at the payment of the thing, they had all different credit cards and stuff on there. So I'm assuming, I don't know. I'll have to look into that, Tommy. That's a good question. I've been with them, what, 2 years now? A little over 2 years. And I know they paid through PayPal, but I'm not sure if that's the only payment. I know I got my payment through them, so I'll have to check into that. Because I've had my account set up and I just go with the flow. But I always check and make sure that they pull it off the main account. So I'll go back and check on my channel, on my eBay store to make sure, because that's the only one I cross post with Bonanza. Is I'll just export everything from eBay. And good morning, Pamela. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hello, hello, good morning and welcome. Yes, we are. Thank you for doing. Oh, you're welcome. Cool Ranch. You're welcome. Pamela's the one who told me about it. She made a post on the calendar. What's up, Harry? Hello, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. Are you off today? Are you finally getting Fridays off? I hope so. Because you work a lot. I got to drink some soda too because, Lord Jesus, I'm hot in this basement. I've been working all morning. Moving some inventory. Moving some stuff. Getting listed. Take pictures. All that stuff this morning. Okay, Tommy. Like I said, I'm not sure because I've been with them for a little over 2 years now. So I don't know. Yeah, we can check into it. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, I know on the payment thing they do show like different credit cards and stuff on their paperwork. Like when you go to check it out and I print all my sales, and yeah, so I'm not sure. I don't get Fridays off, but I took them off. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm going to get some stuff done today. Status. I need to investigate. I hear that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Along with collaborating with Harold and Pamela, I am doing my premiere live auction on my channel next Friday at 3/3/23. Awesome! At 3 o'clock. Yeah, you're right about that one. That's an understatement, Harry. Well, hello, Ella. Don't forget that Ella does have her show this morning at 10 o'clock. And that is with Victoria. Lord Jesus, y'all, that's going to be an interesting show because Victoria this morning is on a high energy alert. And with her and Ella together, that's going to make for an interesting show, y'all. Who's going to be more energized than the other? Happy hunting, Harold. Find me some jewelry. There you go. Can we have a Pam auction? Can we have a Pam auction? Hello, Susie. How are you doing? Good morning. Hello and welcome. I'm not sure what you're asking, buying space. Congratulations, Amy, Ella, and Victoria are so much fun. Yeah, that child, that's something else when they're together. Harold, Angels, you girls. So yeah, I'm just waiting on Laura so we can get our show started for the day. She had to go bring her kids to school. And she did mention that to me when she told me she would like to do this. So we'll just go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? So I've been listing every day, trying to get at least, my goal is 8 to 10 a day. And I've been not only making that, but also getting my next day started with more listing and drafting ready with pictures. Then that's all I got to go do in it is tweak the pictures and stuff like that, like I like to do. Especially when I'm upstairs and I'm just sitting around, I just go ahead and take care of it. So that gives me something to do and get it over with to where when I go to list, it's easier and quick for me to do. Lisa and I, 100. Yes, indeed, Harry. What's up, Sailor Stacker? Hello, good morning and welcome and good to see you. How you doing? I think you're back at Wednesdays, right? I think you just started back up on Wednesdays, Sailor Stacker, because I never took you off the calendar. I think Robert told me one day this week about you were back on, or something about you go start a new season or something like that. So let us know. Yeah. Lisa made it to 100. What? Lisa, congratulations. Let me check that out. Make sure I'm still subscribed to you. One of the things I'm been noticing, if I go ahead and watch a video first, then subscribe, I don't lose their subscription to their channel. So that's been pretty good. Well, y'all, it has come to that time. Yes, congratulations. Great to, all right, Sailor Stacker, thank you for letting me know. Amy is good. Both Pamela very sweet. And there's, he says yes. All right, y'all. So here we go with the Q&A all about Etsy. And I'm going to bring on none other than DzinesLaura. Good morning. Now, there's where you got too much light behind you, so it's wearing you out.
Okay, I'll go turn it off.
Oh, by the way, all her information is in the description bar below. If I need more information, I'll definitely double check with her to make sure we get all her information in the description of the channel for this video and every Friday. So Laura, tell her about a little bit about yourself, because I know you just recently started putting out some videos. And so talk a little bit about your channel and anything you have coming up for you to let everybody know.
Okay, well, the lighting here is really bad today, you guys. I'm sorry. It's a very cloudy day, and it is what it is. I did start my business, DzinesLaura, in 1993 by my first in-person craft show. I made my first online sale in 2012, and I made my first YouTube sale just this month. So I don't really consider myself a YouTuber, even though I love the platform. I love really all the people I've met here. So it's kind of the beginning of that for me. Yeah.
And one of the things I have to say is, one day she was in the chat and said, I haven't did a video yet. And one of the things I do have to say is when Laura decided to do it, she just went out and did it. And her and I had a conversation about that. And, you know, a lot of times that's how you learn from your mistakes, is by just doing them. So I have several people reaching out to me about Etsy. So that's why today we wanted to go to make this a Q&A all about Etsy. Hello, Bama. How are you doing, John? Good to see you. For those who have questions about Etsy, please make sure in the chat you write either a big Q question, all in caps, or you just put the word Q and then my name, either way, so I can see it, because I'm going to try to keep up with the chat. So far, so good. And I'll keep putting a star by your name so I don't miss your question and or statement about Etsy. So today is basically all about Q&A, all about Etsy. Hello, where it went? Margie, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. So first of all, what got you started doing Etsy over any other platform? And I'm going to switch this.
Sure. There is a story behind it. Probably about 2010, a lot of other crafters, you know how we talk to each other when you're at a show, would say, "Oh, do you have an Etsy?" You know, Etsy was not a household name at that time. So I was curious. I went online, and because I'm very specific in what I make. It's all from spoons. So I started to search how many spoon rings, how many spoon bracelets were on there. And the number was so astronomical that I thought I'll never be found. It was discouraging. So I didn't do anything with it until in 2012. There's a learning point here too. I decided to do, I went on eBay to search, and I searched spoon ring, and then I sorted by highest price. And there was a spoon ring on there selling for $400, $399, $399. It was a Little Red Riding Hood spoon that had been turned into a ring. It became famous because an actress who was very relevant at the time was photographed wearing that spoon ring. So I then found the spoon for $100, and I thought, okay, here's how I can be found on Etsy. I have something where there's a demand at a price I know I can profit from. And I lost my train of thought, guys. So I'm very nervous.
You're good. You're doing fine. But you're talking about the ring that you found.
I went ahead and purchased that spoon for $100, which I've never done before. I mean, that is, you know, usually a spoon is $5 or less. And then when I was making it, it turned out fantastic. I was able to get at least decent pictures up enough. I opened an Etsy shop and listed that all on the same day. Within 3 days, there was a lady message. Now, I was able to be found because there was only like 3 or 4 listed, and people were looking for this. So that was the key really to my beginning success, was able to find, like I heard someone mention they have good vintage. Good vintage might be a good way to start. Within 3 days, I sold that, and for $299.
Wow.
I was definitely hooked. And I decided that I was going to start looking for patterns that were really extra special, not just your average pattern. So I did. And actually the listings that I started with, I still have that listing as a replenishable over and over and over. So I think that was lucky, a little bit of knowledge and a lot of luck got me a good start.
So with Etsy, and for those who may not know, what is the basics about Etsy that you can list when it comes to the Etsy platform?
All right. Etsy is known for handmade, vintage, which they define vintage as 20 years or older, and supplies. The handmade item has to be made by the shop owner. You cannot go thrift a handmade item and then sell that on Etsy. You can have shop members that help in the process, but really the owner has to be the one making it. Since I started though, they did add this platform of you can design it and use an outside production partner, and you do have to list who your production partner is. There's a lot of rules and regulations regarding production partners. Vintage, 20 years or older, you do need to, I don't think Etsy really pays, they don't have the time or the staff to police everything in the vintage category, but they will occasionally reach out and ask you to verify that it is actually vintage. And one of the interesting things I read in the seller handbook was saying that I inherited something from someone who's been deceased for more than 20 years. They don't accept that as a legitimate answer for defining vintage, even though to me that seems pretty definitive, but they don't. And then in the handmade or in the supply category, it has to be inherently purposed as a supply. You can't sell according, even though it's there, according to their definition of a supply. If you put up denim jeans that are 5 years old, it wasn't inherently meant to be a supply, even though some people use jeans to make handbags, or they use the pockets to make little purses and stuff. It's not considered a supply, and neither is a blank sweatshirt, but they're all over the place. So also, the other thing that people get confused with about what can be sold is when there's overlap. Let's say I handmade something, but I used a handmade supply, and I put those two things together. That is, I can't list it unless I have to use a production partner. The person that handmade that supply, I have to list them in my store. If something is a vintage supply, there's overlap there, so you have to be careful about which category you list it in on Etsy. So that's the basics on what can be. They do have a prohibited list. And I think that's one of the links I gave you, Johnny, was the prohibited list.
Yeah, the one in that email you sent me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a prohibited list. And then every once in a while, they'll do a sweep. I know a couple years ago, a lot of people listing vintage clothing. For some reason, it was being taken down, and we never really understood why. I didn't follow up because I don't sell vintage clothing, but those things happen. Also, Etsy has what they call IP infractions, intellectual property. You cannot sell somebody else's intellectual property. They don't take it down. They wait for, like, let's say you have a Disney, let's say you went and bought some Disney material and made a t-shirt out of Disney. You can't sell that on Etsy. Yeah, you can't, because that material has to be for your personal use. What will happen is Disney will come in and they do what they call a sweep. Their agents, Disney agents, will come in and they will flag listings. They fill out the report and send it to Etsy. Then Etsy takes that listing down and you have strike one. Unless you can come back and say, no, Disney gave me permission to do this. Once you get 3 strikes, you're permanently out. And any shop, like let's say you're a wife and husband team, if the wife does an infraction, they will also take the husband's shop down, or any other shop that's associated with that shop. You're permanently done. They will not let you open a shop ever. So it is kind of important if you want to have a career on Etsy, to pay attention to what you can and cannot list.
One of the things I have to say, since I've been on Etsy, I've noticed that when you go to list something, what I like, I wish all the platforms would do this, is where if something is not eligible to be listed, they will tell you. They won't even let you proceed through it. And that's what I like about Etsy.
Right.
Real quick, I want to say thank you very much. I see 3 memberships come through with Sailor Stacker gifting membership to those in the chat. I want to thank each and every one of them of Sailor Stacker for doing that. So I'm going to play a couple of things here for y'all. First, Sailor Stacker, this is for you because to me that's considered a super sticker, super chat because of what you're doing. So let me have it, please. I got the $.
Let him have.
You got the $? We got the offer? Let him have it with no problem. Let him have it. And to save time, I know usually I do this for everyone who becomes a member, but because even though it was a gift, you still became a member. So this is for each and every one of you. And thank you again, Sailor Stacker, for gifting these memberships.
Attention, attention, new member. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend and family member of the Cajun Roots Reseller channel. Thank you, thank you.
And thank each and every one of y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoy the membership that does last a month. And at the end of the month, you're more than welcome to continue it or just let it expire. Either way, that's good. So one of the questions I want everybody in the chat, if you have any questions in reference to Etsy, please make sure you do ask. That's why Laura agreed to come on. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of the questions. Remember, just write the word question in caps or just put the big Q and then my name at and I'll get to see it. So you were talking in reference earlier about the prohibited. So is that the same as their way of doing a Vero?
It's similar, but I know on eBay, sometimes I looked at their Vero list. Aren't they very specific about like a brand name, like a Nike or something like that? I have not been able to.
Companies, but they're not really too specific on what and why you can't list certain things. But there is a list of company names. Yeah.
Yeah. Etsy doesn't have that. That's why when there was that sweep, the clothing was all vintage, but it was things that were high-end designer like Dion von Furstenberg, and those dresses were being taken down, or things by Chanel, and no one could understand because it was legit vintage, and it wasn't borderline 20 years. It was legit vintage, and they just went through and they took it down. To be honest, I didn't follow up how that all ended. If Etsy does take something down, do not relist it. Do not sell similar. When they sometimes mistakes happen, so maybe when they sort that all out, I've heard that they will go ahead and restore your listing for you. Another thing with the listing, Etsy does have an upfront fee that's 20 cents per listing, and that is not refundable. Even if they take your listing down, they do not. The 20 cents is non-refundable. So.
All right, we do have a question from Peddling Profits. What do you think of the star seller? Can you explain that to others?
Absolutely. This is a question I was anticipating, that and fees. The star seller program is relatively new, so I don't know more about it than anybody else who's been on Etsy since it started. So, when there's a policy change, it's kind of an equalizer in how much you understand Etsy. There are 3 parts to the star seller program. And to be very honest, I'm happy with 2 parts. My feelings on the 3rd part, I really don't care for at all, to answer that part. Now, the 3 components are your shipping time with tracking, your feedback, and how fast you answer questions. As a seller, you are completely in control of your shipping and tracking time. You're completely in control of how fast you answer messages. You are not in control of the feedback portion, but that's the part I'm unhappy with. Etsy makes it very, very difficult for customers who are using their phone or the app to purchase to see the item's description. I get bad feedback because the person did not read the description. I even get good feedback, 5 stars, but they mentioned that they didn't understand what they were buying. And it's right there in the description. So that's the part that really upsets me. And Etsy's feedback, they don't take feedback down liberally like eBay does. If you call and say, hey, my description says this to eBay, and eBay agrees with you, they will take that feedback down. Etsy does not. They have a very specific criteria of when they will take the feedback down. And that part, I need to look up the exact wordage before I answer about the feedback. Now, the shipping time with tracking, I like it because Etsy does not have the best reputation when it comes to shop owners shipping on time. So for me, when I'm getting ready to purchase from somebody, I can see that this person ships on time and that they use tracking. So I personally like it. They do have a glitch. There is a glitch right now where if you have a 2-day processing time and you ship on the 2nd day, sometimes it doesn't update right away. The next day you will go in and you'll see that your 100% score has been lowered. It does update after 24 hours. But if you're on the end of the month where they're getting ready to evaluate you, and you shipped a whole bunch of packages on a Tuesday because there was a Monday holiday, it is possible for your score to be lowered to that below the 95% standard. And then you get to have a lovely conversation and try to convince them to evaluate you after that update. Now, when it comes to answering messages, there's a lot of people who don't like this one, but I do. Etsy wants you to answer messages within 24 hours, 7 days a week. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas Eve and you have a big party. It doesn't matter. You can set up an automatic reply So if someone messaged you and you're taking a couple days off, there's an automatic reply. The automatic reply will count as you replying within 24 hours. But Etsy has a bad reputation for shop owners not answering messages ever sometimes. So if you get, and while we're on messages, so let's see, did I answer that question fully? The 3 parts, how I feel about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Messages.
Before you go any further, because it was about the cost, Jennifer says it's every 4 months. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
The list. Yep. The listing fee. I broke down all the fees too, because that's another question that comes up with people who are new to selling on Etsy. It's very different than how eBay does it. The 20-cent listing is for 4 months. If the item does not sell after 4 months, it'll go into your expired. It'll go into your expired folder. You can relist it for another 20 cents. Yes.
Okay. They said Pam says that they are mimicking eBay for eBay feedback because Etsy hired a person that used to work for eBay on feedback.
I wish they would mimic eBay. I wish that they would be a little more seller friendly in what feedback they will take down. Because I've had actually people say absolutely factually wrong things in the feedback, and Etsy will not take it down.
Veronica says Etsy sounds more like a high maintenance by the minute. I don't really do a lot of high maintenance on my Etsy store. What about you?
I don't now because I'm pretty much in the groove of it. When I first started, I did not know how to use tags. I didn't understand their search engine optimization, SEO. So I had listed maybe like 25 things, and I did have to go back in and then rework every single listing. I think it's a good idea if you're going to list if you're getting ready to list, I would list 1 or 2 things. And maybe have somebody look at it before you do a sell similar over and over and over. Locally, a lady asked me to help her get started on Etsy. She only sold women's scarves. I said, after you list 1, please send me a link. I will look at it. She listed 100 of them, and nowhere, anywhere in a tag or a title did she put the words women's scarf. She used every other way to describe the thing, but she did not use the words women's scarf. And she did sell similar on every single one, and she had to go back and edit every listing. So It's a good idea to have someone look at it.
All right, and Glamos has a question. Could you please tell us what's the benefits of selling on Etsy versus other platforms?
There is a consensus out there that on Etsy you can get more for vintage, higher price for vintage, but the fees are higher. So I'm not sure how that evens out. The benefit with the handmade is Etsy is known for handmade. That's a hard question. You're going to have, let's see, because I'm actually favoring eBay right now, but there used to be back in the day, there was a huge benefit because Etsy was known for handmade. It was special, but now it's so clogged up with infractions and a lot of cheap overseas items. That's a really, if something else pops in my head about what's the benefit other than maybe getting more eyes on it, I'll let you know, Glamis.
Well, I have to agree with you on that because for me, when I list something on Etsy, I just put it on there because of the fact that, one, I can get more on there than I would either on Mercari or eBay. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's because of the previous that sold, because you still can see what's sold like you would on eBay. But a lot of times it's more, you get more traction over there than you would on eBay and or Mercari. Mm-hmm. Our next question is, feeling on Etsy's advertisements, can you explain the 15% fees and the 12% fees?
Yes, absolutely. And you said feelings, I hate it. I loved the advertising they had prior, but what's going on now is advertising, my feeling is, should be voluntary. I'm one of the shops who had made more than $10,000 in a calendar year, they have their off-site ads where if you made $10,000 in any calendar year, you are forced. There is no way to get out of the outside ads. And they charge 12% on the entire amount. Okay, so for me, the 12% is because I'm forced in. If you voluntarily opt in, that's the 15%. So that's the difference. Forced in, 12%, opt in, 15%. They charge the 12% on the entire amount of your purchase. I just had one where I sold an item for $25. I charged $4.50 for shipping. There was sales tax because Etsy collects the sales tax. Okay, so I was charged 12% on the entire amount, which was plus the tax. It was way over the $29.50 plus their tax. So I actually ended up paying closer to 15% in the advertising. If you're opting in at 15%, you're going to pay more like 18%. That is something I am forced to pay for the life of my shop. And you add that, I have to add that 15% to the 6.5% the transaction fee. They also have a processing fee of 3% plus 25 cents. And I had to pay the 20 cents to list it. That sale where I sold a $25 item, I ended up with $18.53 plus the cost of goods. And then I have to pay taxes to the IRS on that. It ended up being more than a third. So that's the whole thing with the fees on Etsy are higher. So that, I think that might be part of the reason why people are getting more money. The buyer on Etsy is different. They're expecting an experience, where on eBay, they just want to get their item and they just want a smooth transaction. And Etsy, they want an experience.
Pam says that she does her listings where she does everything manually to relist it, because that way she can renew, instead of renewing it automatically, she can actually go through the listing herself.
Yes.
Patrick saying he thinks his rock might even do better on Etsy. That could do. Please don't take this question seriously. I know what rock you're talking about, Patrick. Roy says he had an ETS. Is that the reason that Etsy prices seem to go up higher on items?
Yes. And to be very transparent, my prices on Etsy are higher. I don't direct any of my traffic to my Etsy shop. I direct my traffic to my personal website because the prices are lower. That same ring that I sold for $25 is listed for $18 on my website. $18. And the only fee I pay on my website is the PayPal transaction fee.
Peddling Profit says we have never ran into any scammers or low offering on Etsy. The buyers are awesome. And that I have to agree. Andrew, hello, good morning and welcome. Jeffrey, hello, good morning and welcome. I had an Etsy shop in the very beginning. They had gone so far away from their original plan that I don't list or buy from Etsy anymore.
Yeah, it was opened by two gentlemen who don't own Etsy anymore. Etsy is now a public entity. You can buy stock in Etsy. They sit there, and my opinion, they push the handmade stuff. They use people who are hand making stuff as a way to attract customers. But then there's all that commercially made, manufactured, low stuff. I don't know actually how they make a profit with the fees, but they do. And that's coming just from me because I've been hand making for since 1993. So I get a little offended when I'm forced to compete with the commercial stuff. I'm also forced to compete. I have to pay that extra 12 to 15% that many of the new shops don't have to pay. So I have to compete there too.
All right. Glamos has a closet. She has a question in reference to, I missed the earlier post part. Does Etsy have any restrictions on what brands you can sell? I just dropped the prohibited list in the chat that she given me to share with y'all. But go ahead and cover that question, please.
I think that's a great question because I know that eBay has their Vero list where they specifically list the brands. I looked and read through Etsy's prohibited list. They do not list any brand specifically. They do define vintage as 20 years or older, but there was a sweep a couple of years, could even been a year ago. And I only found out because I go in and read Etsy forums where a lot of people selling legit vintage high-end items were having their listings were being taken down. Chanel, Diane von Furstenberg was obviously it's vintage, but they were being taken down. And to be honest, because I don't sell vintage clothing, I never really followed through to see how that, if it was a mistake, because Etsy makes mistakes and then they will restore the listing. But I really, if there is a brand specific list, they don't publish it.
All right. Peddling Profits would like to know, can you explain the importance of tags, titles, having videos, free shipping, anything that will get you on that first page without promoting your listings? They do videos now on Etsy?
Yes. Leave that up, Johnny. Can you leave that up so I can answer all parts of that? Because there's a lot there to unpack. Okay. The importance of tags and titles, that's your SEO, search engine optimization. When your title matches your tags, you will be given relevancy. Etsy's search is based on relevancy and it's also based on listing quality, and they use AI, artificial intelligence. So when I make a title for my item, the first words are the most important. I will either use, and I'm sorry to be so specific, but it's a good example. When I do a spoon ring, the pattern name is April and there's a year 1950. So I will either put April 1950 spoon ring as my first 4 words, or I will vary it by saying spoon ring April 1950. The words following it are things that describe my ring. What sizes is available. I will put what flower it is, sunflower. Then I take my title, I copy it, I paste it into a Word document. Tags can be 20 letters or less and no punctuation. So I will divide my title up into 20 character or less tags. Like I will say April 1950, comma, spoon ring, comma. The comma, then once you get your commas in that, copy it from your Word document with the commas, paste it into the tag. The commas will divide that up into your tags. That's how because now your title matches your tags and you will have relevancy. If you start putting things in your tags that have nothing to do with your item, it will drop your relevancy score. Okay, hopefully, if you still have questions about tags and titles, ask me again. Videos. I started doing videos. No sound is allowed. So even though on my eBay videos, I will talk to the person. I tell them what it is. But I noticed that on Etsy, the sound does not go through, which is fine. In my mind, I don't know factually for sure if it helps. In my mind, it does. I think the buyer can see it better. I use a turntable and I put the piece of jewelry on the turntable and I let it turn for about 15 seconds so they can see it from every angle. Sometimes my videos are clearer than the pictures. Etsy says that sales convert at a higher rate when there's a video. So I'm actually enjoying making the videos. How do I feel about free shipping? Shipping is not free. Shipping is included. I don't do free shipping on Etsy because every time I try free shipping on Etsy, I get that person who, again, does not read the description. And in their mind, free shipping means free returns. And I've had people push that buy button without reading a thing, and then they want to return it. And I also have no returns unless I make a mistake or unless you approach me in a kind way. Because I've had some upset customers who will not read anything and they figure they can just return it and get all of their money back. And on a handmade item, I can't resell that again. I don't do free shipping. When I do free shipping, the times I've done it, and I've done it several times, to really accurately tell you, it doesn't help. It didn't help me. Customers know it's not free. Anything that will get you on the first page without promoting your listing. Okay, so, and I don't promote my listings. There's another advertising. We already discussed the offsite ads that I'm forced into. So that doesn't help me on Etsy because that's off of Etsy. The offsite that you're forced into are ads. I've even seen my ads on YouTube. They're off of Etsy. The advertising that is on Etsy, anybody can opt in right from the beginning, and you can opt out. The reason I don't use it is because we don't have full control over the cost per click. And there's a lot to unpack with the advertising, but I'll try to just stick to your point. You can set up a daily budget. Let's say you want to spend $5 a day. That part you're in control of. The part, unless they've changed this recently, I apologize, but the way it's been is you don't have any control over how much, like one click can be $4. One click, if you're selling a sterling silver spoon ring, one click can be $4 and your budget is destroyed. You pay for that even if they don't purchase. So that money is gone. So I don't do it. Once they took away the control, I used to go with a $10 daily budget, and I had maybe 20 cents a click. And I did very well under that system.
All right.
How to get on the first page really has to do with relevancy, and do you have a history of following the rules? They have a community score. If you're very unkind in the forums, it counts against you. There's a lot that goes into the relevancy to get on the first page. I used to be on the first page for spoon, like when you would search for spoon ring or spoon bracelet. I used to be there. I'm not anymore, but I used to be.
Patrick says, if you have a product and haven't signed a contract, I should be able to sell it if I want to. Let's see. I saw another post right here. Mess Hall Dick says, Etsy is legit. I sold all my candles, which, if y'all don't know, Mess Hall Dick does have vintage candles that he does as a scent. He does them in the wax form and candles. And he said he sold them all. You have to promote it and use links on your social media page for people to find your listing.
Yeah, and I'm not a social media person, so I know when you drive your traffic to Etsy, it can definitely help. I drive mine through my website.
So far, everybody in the chat saying that they like Jennifer said she uses calculated shipping. I do not do returns. Pam says the same thing. I don't do returns, and I do free shipping. I do not do free shipping or returns. Jennifer says she got a bad feedback because the lady was mad that I did not do any returns.
Me too, Jennifer.
Peddling Prophet says that was a great explanation. We never promote on Etsy as well. I have never done that either, but I didn't even know anything about a promotion budget. I don't do that.
Yeah, and that's a deep dive on the.
I need to check my listings. Laura, hello, good morning and welcome. And Orby, hello, good morning and welcome. And Miss Denise, hello, good morning and welcome. So today is all about Etsy. If you have any questions, please make sure to feel free to ask in the chat. We'll be doing this every Friday. So I have a question in reference to the listings. For myself, I have to say I think the majority of my Etsy is either vintage jewelry or vintage, I say vintage, but homemade quilts. I'm glad you said something about the commas because I don't use commas in my title.
No, don't. Okay, let me clarify that. Don't use commas in your title. When you copy your title, you're wasting a character. When you type your title in, you're writing your listing, you have your title in there. Copy the title and paste it into a Word document. Then add your commas. The commas won't appear in the tags. The comma tells their website, whatever, to separate, I should do a video on it, to separate your title into 20 characters or less, because a tag, I forget how many tags there are. I want to say there's 13 tags, but a tag can only be 20 characters long.
Right.
So if you take spoon ring in your Word document, comma, April 1950, comma, vintage silverware, comma, then you copy what you put in the Word document, that title with the commas, you copy that and just put it into the tags. You're free to type out your tags individually, but I think that once you learn this shortcut, it saves a lot of time.
So my next question is, so you can take all 13 of them and just separate them by commas and put it in once, and it does it for you automatically?
Yep.
See, I've been doing mine one at a time. That aggravates me.
Once you learn that trick, I actually enjoy titles and tags. I didn't know that. I love search engine optimization.
Yeah, because I usually just go tag, enter. And do you have to keep, like, for example, spoon ring? Would you put a space in between spoon ring, or do you have to type it all together?
You would put a space. You would type spoon ring, comma, space. Okay. Yeah, you need that space. Okay. And then you would write silverware, jewelry, comma.
I just type everything together because I'm afraid to put that space in between it to lose that character. Peddling Prophet says, it takes me longer to list on Etsy than any other platform, but it is worth the extra time. And it is. I don't have a problem with it. I really don't list a lot on Etsy right now, but I find that it's worth it because when you do make a sale, it's very nice to see that sale. It takes me forever to do it, and it is. It's a lot of time consuming.
If you can use the copy feature, it will save you time.
Okay. And also when you're doing your listings, though, the thing with the video, how do you do your video? Do you have to do it separate and then upload it into your listing?
Yeah, and I'm new to videos. Maybe there's a faster way. I do the video on my phone, and unless they've upgraded, Etsy has a new app that I haven't upgraded to yet. So currently, I'm unable to upload my video from the phone to a listing. So what I'm doing is I'm sending it in an email, and then I put it on my downloads, and then in my downloads on my laptop, I'm able to upload the video from there. And you can do a little bit. Go ahead.
My next question about the phone.
Okay.
You have to sign into your account. Are you able to do your listings on your phone?
Some do. Yes, you can do a listing. It's limited. I really prefer the laptop because I'm probably too much of a perfectionist, even though you may not think my pictures are perfect, but I want to make sure that everything looks, I'm used to the laptop, but I know people who run their Etsy shops strictly from a phone. So yes, you can.
Well, the reason I say that is because I like, when I take my pictures in my photo station, I have to come to the computer, upload them into a file, then bring them into Etsy.
Yes.
Whereas if I can do it on my phone, I would prefer to upload the videos from my phone, then come to the computer and adjust my pictures and stuff like that. So I didn't know if you can or not.
I take all of my photos. I still use a 35mm camera, and then I have a program on my laptop that I use to edit. I'm taking pictures of tiny little shiny things, and small shiny things are hard to get a good picture of. So that's why I do it that way.
Jennifer says if you use Chrome to go to Etsy on your phone, you can definitely upload it from it. Okay.
I'm going to try that. Thank you, Jennifer.
That's what I use on my computer. I use Chrome. That's all I always use. I like that. I'm going to have to check that out. Resell Therapy. Hello, good morning, and welcome. I do not use the Sell on Etsy app to list. Yeah, now, would you want to do your drafts on there, though, out of curiosity?
Oh, Margie, I love you.
Can you explain how you can buy directly off Google Shopping on Etsy without that customers actually going to Etsy? I never heard of that one. We are seeing an upstick in sales since Etsy did that.
I'm going to put that on my list of things to find out about, because while I was doing, rereading some of the things that I've not really thought about in a while, I did see that. So I will look into that, because it is true. That is happening. And
I'm wondering
it has to do peddling profits. Are you using offsite Etsy ads? Because I think it has to do with offsite Etsy ads.
Never heard of that one. That's a good question. A statement though. You can't make a bunch of drafts. Oh, you can't make. Okay. I'm gonna have to check it out. Yeah, because I've been looking to try to do that and I don't see a way to do it. So I'm gonna have to check into that. Peddling profits, that was her question. And again, anything that we can't get to today, she'll bring it to next week. So that way, if she has to do some research on it, she'll bring it on to the next week with her notes. So just come back next Friday and we'll make sure we can take that. Okay, Pam says, yes, time consuming on listing on Etsy with phone, but you can if you need be. They have improved it. Okay, I'm going to have to check into that.
And Pam has been on Etsy for a lot longer than I have.
Okay.
She's definitely a pro.
Resell therapy. We're talking about Etsy today. The way we started this on weekdays, Monday is all about YouTube. Tuesday is all about eBay. Wednesday is Whatnot Wednesdays. Thursday is about Poshmark. And Fridays, it's about Etsy. So definitely, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat and I'll make sure to get to it. You can't. Okay, I'm going to check into that. I think I have to re-download on my phone the actual app.
Yeah, I need to
did that. I think I got my problem. There is a seller app for easy, and you can Etsy, and you can also upload pictures from the phone on. Okay, I'm going to check into that. I haven't done it yet, but I would like to, because I do a lot of pictures, and then I can just upload it without having to come to the computer, download them, make them into a file, because you can't upload them from your phone. You have to put them in a file, then upload them, and that's the only thing I don't like. But we are not using off-site ad.
I'd ask Peddling Profits as a follow-up to their question.
Okay.
If they were getting those Google sales, but if they were using off-site ads. So I added that to my note. Thank you.
Hello, Deborah. Welcome. Let's see. Sell on Etsy is the name of the app.
Etsy has two apps. They have Sell on Etsy, and then they have one for customers.
Well, I did not know that. That might be why I can't find it.
You can download them both, but if you're going to use the seller app, you must be logged in for it to
Right. Well, no wonder I could never find it. I didn't know that. All right, let's see here. Use the Etsy seller app on the phone. Let's see. Whatever happened to Montgomery Ward's mail orders? You know, they still have an actual, as far as I know, they still have an actual a brick and mortar store in Wisconsin. When we go to our lake house, when we go up there, they do have an actual brick and mortar store for Montgomery Ward's. But they do have I still get every now and then a calendar in the mail, a catalog in the mail for Montgomery Ward's. They still have them, yeah. Cheryl, hello, good morning and welcome. I have only used my phone for my Etsy listings. Really?
Yep. There are people who run their entire shop on the Etsy app.
I did not know that. Etsy seller app is not that great. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead. I don't want to keep Laura too long, but again, because of the comments and questions that are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and drop the links again in the chat. And then I'll drop the link. And then when I say links, these are all Jennifer's links, not only to her YouTube channel, because she has been putting out more content, but also her Etsy store. Everything that you see her do through her videos, she does a lot of that and puts it on her Etsy store. That is another way of her income and support that you can do for her, as well as her Etsy. There's her Etsy link, and here is her Buy Her a Milkshake. For all that she does for everybody in every chat she goes in. When you go in the chat, she's telling you hello by her dropping your link. And that's all hers. I see a question coming in. So let me get to that question. Where did it go? It hasn't come in as StreamYard yet. I see it in the chat, but not here. Or did I? What time is that? Right here. There we go. All right. So the next question is, what categories do you think is floating on Etsy? Flooded on Etsy. Etsy is one of our favorite platforms to sell on, and we sell vintage and antiques.
Jewelry is definitely flooded. There are probably other categories that are flooded that I'm unaware of because I'm pretty much only in the jewelry category. I'm just wondering how, I think that trying to think of the word. Vintage, I don't feel vintage is flooded because it's so unique. Supplies is very, very flooded, but we use a lot of supplies. Trying to be found with jewelry is tough, and I know a lot of the supply people have said it's very tough to be found. So I think a good idea, if you're in I'm not sure what category you're in, peddling profits, but if you're in a flooded category, you can still be very successful. Like I said in the very beginning, and maybe not everyone was here, I actually postponed opening my Etsy shop for 2 years because when I would search for a spoon ring, I would see a super high number of listings, and I just felt like I would not be found. If I would definitely list things that are harder to find, like within that category. Like in spoon ring, I found a ring that was sought after. It was selling for I did mine for $300, but it was selling for $400, and there was only a few listed. That's how I got found in the flooded category of jewelry. Pictures, make sure that your picture is click worthy. If your listing does show up in front of somebody, don't put words. Etsy does not allow, oh wait, no, that's eBay. You can put words on your first picture, but Google doesn't like it. Just make sure that first picture, I prefer the white background, is very crisp and clear. Make sure the first words in your title are really saying what it is. Don't use the word gorgeous spoon ring. Don't use gorgeous as your first word. People don't normally search for the word gorgeous or amazing or super sparkly or give it a random name like the Susan or something. Make sure those first 4 words really need to be those tags like spoon ring or Little Red Riding Hood ring. That's how I was found. And to be very honest, I didn't understand tags when I first listed that. I didn't even use tags. That's when I had to go back in and spend a lot of time fixing every listing once I realized what tags were. But if you have that really unique sought after item, lead with that. If it's I didn't know what I was doing with the whole high dollar thing, but make sure that you cover yourself with insurance and a signature required if you need to.
All right. I know we talked about this before, and I know you mentioned it a little bit. The bargain effects, that's Tommy, would like to know, would you be interested in looking at my Etsy store and give some suggestions? And he did put it right after that, after Cheryl, the link to his Etsy store.
Can you just tell bargain effect?
I'll give it to you in the private chat because I opened it for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be a question. Would you be interested in helping by looking at others Etsy stores to help them out if they need any suggestions?
Yes, absolutely. But let me say one thing. If I see listings that are on the prohibited list, or if I see a bunch of Disney, I will and please don't let your feelings get hurt, but that's the first thing I'm going to say is these listings are prohibited on Etsy, or these things might be. You might want to get permission. A lot of us longtime sellers won't help after that. If you have a bunch of Disney stuff that's prohibited listed in your store, we will kindly tell you those are prohibited. If you comply and take those listings down, then we'll help further. This is the big thing about the forums on Etsy is people will come in, and I kind of don't. Who really reads the whole seller handbook before they list? But they will come into the forums and they say, "Help! I'm not getting any sales," or "What can I do to get more sales?" People will go and look at your shop, and if it's all copyright infringement, they don't want to help you. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's the reality of it. But yeah, I would definitely take a look at your shop.
But from what I understand, though, when I go to list on Etsy, if there's something wrong, they won't even let me go to the next step without changing.
Johnny, because you're honest. There are people, they're not honest when they answer those questions.
Oh, okay. I was just curious because I know when I go to list, if I answer a question, they tell me, no, you can't do this or whatever, then I won't list it, So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jennifer says, I have a bad habit of using the word vintage as one of my first keywords. I guess I need to change that.
You really do. I just don't even put the word vintage in my title anymore. Etsy just takes that word vintage and they just completely remove it. They'll still be in your title, but if you try to search for vintage, I can't. They just they ignore the word vintage. Yeah. So actually, if you want to put it at the end of your title, you can. I tested this a long time ago, where I would Google vintage spoon ring, and none of my stuff would show up. They just took the word vintage and they completely removed.
Well, let me ask you this: if you're using a keyword as vintage in your tags, you really don't need to put it in your title, correct?
No, it should match.
Okay, all right.
Everything in your title, that's relevancy. If your title, the words in your title match your tags, your listing has a better chance of being shown on the first, second, third page.
Okay, then I need to check out mine. Cheryl says my first sale was a mess and still shows up as an order. How do I get rid of it? It was mailed and delivered so long ago.
Cheryl, did you use tracking?
Oh, I'll always make sure of that.
And if you use tracking, if you didn't print your shipping label from Etsy, did you upload, when you got back from the post office, did you add tracking to that order? That's a whole nother thing. We can take a deep dive on shipping. We can take a deep dive on, we only talked about the two kinds of ads. Etsy does have some promotions that you can set up for shop specific promotions. I'm currently using, I love those. Those are things we can do deep dives on. Those will help your sales.
And if you make the notes for that, we can start on that next Friday.
Yep.
So my question is, because I know when I do sell, and a lot of times I'll go to like Pirate Ship, but I copy the tracking number and I put it in the listing when it's done as completed.
You can sync Etsy with Pirate Ship, and it will automatically, when you print that label, use the same way eBay syncs with Pirate Ship.
Really?
I can maybe write the steps down. It's been a while since I do it. Yes. And Pirate Ship has some wonderful customer service. They have that little chat thing. If you can't figure out how to sync your shop, and I will actually
well, then I'll do that. I like that idea.
If you sync your eBay and your Etsy to Pirate Ship, you go in and print your label, it will automatically put the shipping.
Well, then I need to do that. I didn't know that.
You'll save yourself a step.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that then. Tommy says that we have no copyright stuff on his Etsy store.
Awesome.
They do everything. They do everything themselves. They design everything themselves without.
There you go. There you go. I just had to say that. I had a feeling, but sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
Yes, but I do not use. Hold on. Cheryl says, yes, but I didn't use Etsy label. I forgot to put it in and can't find that receipt.
Okay. Cheryl, go ahead and so you just knew it was delivered. Maybe you followed the tracking. I'm not sure. You can try reaching out to Etsy and a little chat option. I don't know, and just ask them if you can get that updated.
We noticed that if we put the year of an item at the beginning of the title, it seems like Etsy does not like that. The item is usually placed on a third or fourth page. Have you or anyone noticed that too?
That's true, and that's why I know not everyone was here in the beginning, or maybe it didn't make sense. When I start my title, I will start with spoon ring, but the spoon ring category is flooded. But I will go spoon ring, April, and I have a year, 1950. And I have mixed it up by saying April 1950, and then I put spoon ring. So I kind of have it mixed up. Etsy does not like that number. I don't think that their artificial intelligence knows what to do with that number. Maybe they think it's a stock number. But actually, and I will tell you, once artificial intelligence took over on Etsy, my sales took a deep decrease, because I have to put the year in there. What I do, and like vintage, the year is really important, because people will buy a ring because that's when their grandmother was born, or maybe they were married that year. So I have to put it in there. Maybe I need to move further down the end of the title, but it's in the tag. Yeah, they don't like the word vintage in the beginning. Antique works. If it's a true antique and it's 100 years old, please don't tag your items, mistitle your items. A true antique, antique works. Vintage and numbers don't. Their artificial intelligence doesn't like those. Move them to the end of the title. Still put them in your tag.
After you were saying what you did, I just went to my Etsy store. I got a lot of changing to do.
No, that's why if there's anybody, if you're listing your first thing, really have someone look at that listing. I'll do it before you do a whole bunch of copy similars. Johnny, if you want me to look at one, you know how to get a hold of me. I'll look at one.
Yeah, I'm just looking at most of mine say the word vintage first. That'll explain some of the things that I've been listing. Yeah. I just started doing a lot of listings with some rare vintage purses. And one of the first words I'm looking at is vintage. It's like, no, I need to change that now. So I got some work to do.
There's a YouTube reseller here. I haven't seen him on your show, but it's Cha-Ching King. He did an excellent video on, and I title on Etsy the way he was referring to eBay. But put your brand first, okay? And I know you want to make sure that somewhere it's got to be in there that it's vintage, but he puts his brand and then what it is and then other stuff after it.
Okay.
Yes. And color. Color is important.
Stock numbers have not shown up on Etsy. It's frustrating in old electronics. Roy says, well, it is a depression conversation. I learned that all 3/4 of the way to antique. Crazy May Stash, hello, good morning and welcome. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. If you want to come on and chit chat, you're more than welcome to. The link is at the top. Please make sure each Friday you do bring on some questions about Etsy. So far today has been very great questions and answers. So make sure you come back every Friday and check that out. I don't want to take up too much time because I want to make sure we keep this up every Friday. So if you have any questions, please make sure you do write them down and bring them on for Fridays. Also reach out. Laura's information is in the description bar below, by the way. If you need to reach out to her or check out having questions and you bring them on every Friday. Hello, Lissa, welcome. So definitely make sure you check that out. Thank you, Jennifer, for dropping that link because I wrote it down for me to go check out. And I know I've subscribed to him. I've seen his videos before, and yes, I am. Okay, I thought that's who it was. So definitely make sure you check that out. But also, please make sure you check out every other channel that's all the channels that are in the chat. Jennifer's been not only dropping their links, but you can also go to the 3 dots next to their name. So what we'll do is we'll get in the show. If you'd like to come on after the show's over, you're more than welcome to. The link will stay at the top of the chat. And again, each Friday we'll be talking Q&A all about Etsy. And again, Lori, thank you very much for doing this with us. And I understand that you may not be able to make it here right away, which is fine, but we'll make it as we can. So before we go, please remind everybody a little bit about your channel, what you have going on. And I know you've done some videos, which I am very glad to say that when one day she said the word, I haven't did a video yet. And I have to say I'm very proud of her because she just did it, put out videos, and now she's just doing it and going live and collaborating with others. And that's one of the basic things that I love hearing is the word yet. And then she started doing it. So go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about your channel. Jennifer just dropped your link and promote your channel.
First, I have to say, you guys made me feel comfortable just doing it. So really, you guys are responsible for that. I'm sorry, but people in this community are so kind and encouraging. That's why I did it. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I knew it was going to happen, but I mean it.
You're doing great.
On March 13th, Jane Newhouse, her channel is Doggone Happy Vintage. She's invited me to come on and do a sale on her channel. It is a late night sale. It's going to be live. I'm going to be there with Maria, California Thrifter, and we're going to have a lot of laughs. I'm going to be selling vintage jewelry, and I will be doing flat rate shipping. So no matter how much you purchase from me, it'll be $4. I purchased a huge lot of vintage signed jewelry. It's supposed to come today, and I'm gonna put a video up, an unboxing on this what it is. I'm gonna open it up right on. I can't do a live, but I'm gonna make a video opening it up. And if anybody wants to purchase anything, you can. So that's it.
All right, now Jennifer has not only dropped, and I'm going to change this format here. Jennifer not only dropped your link to your channel, there is the link to her website. If you haven't checked out her website, all that information is in the description bar below, but catch the link right here in the chat. Go to the open in a new tab, and you get to check out what she's got on her website. Also, all her information, including her Etsy store and all that, is in the description bar below. You're more than welcome to check that out.
You can send a message from the website too. If someone's wondering how to get a hold of me, you can send a message on the website. If you're wanting me to look at something from Etsy, my shop name on Etsy is DzinesLaura. So yeah.
And then again, don't forget to bring your questions for next week, because we'll be glad to add that too. She's already made a list of what she's going to talk about and start answering some questions from this week. For next Friday, we'll start the show off with that. Hello, Mona. Did what? Hello, good morning and welcome. And did you want to come on now or after the show? Up, thumbs up now. Okay, he said now.
Laura.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi, honey. I'm giving you a big warm hug, honey.
You guys really are awesome.
Johnny does this to everybody and this community, where you got tears running down your eyes.
I know.
I'm good.
Thomas says, thank you, Laura, for all the valuable Etsy information. And again, don't forget to bring those questions next week again to where we can make a great show of that. And again, if she doesn't know the answer, she did tell me that she will be glad to look it up and bring it on to the next week. So make sure you do send that. If you have to, send me questions in an email, and I'll be glad to send them over to her. Or you can just directly email her, and she'll be glad to talk about it in the next show. So with that being said, again, Mark, being you join us before the show is over, tell everybody a little bit about what you got going on, because you know we cannot have you on without promoting your channel.
Well, thank you. We've got the Joy of Auction Sunday with virtual shopkeeper Dee, Greg, and Christine at 3 p.m. Sunday afternoon, Eastern. And then let's see. Then we have Michael and I have our show, and we have let's see, our special guest this week is going to be Margie, Vintage Jewels, Gems and Pearls, and Lisa's Fun Finds.
Ooh.
Yeah, this will be a good time. And we've got exciting stuff coming up in March. And that's where I'm going to leave it.
All right.
Johnny.
Also, don't forget, please make sure this is going to be our great weekend. Please make sure you have a great weekend. Some of us are going to be snowbirds. Some of us are going to be hibernating, because I ain't getting out of this mess. So also make sure, I have a major announcement that I'll be making on Monday. Another change to the Cajun Roots Reseller LLC channel that you don't want to miss. That'll take place Monday. I'll be making that announcement on Monday morning show. And then again, if you have any questions for Monday, the Monday show will be all about YouTube. And I already have a few comments things that I'm bringing up already for Monday's show, that someone not only sent me a topic they want me to talk about, it just also goes into the topic I'll be bringing in for Monday for YouTube. Also, don't forget on Tuesday, it's Q&A all about Etsy with Tommy, the bargain effects. On Wednesday, it's Whatnot Wednesdays with Q&A all about Whatnot with Anthony, full-time reseller. On Thursdays, it's Q&A all about Poshmark with Grandma's Closet. And every Friday now with Laura with Q&A all about Etsy. So we're trying to bring the basics back to our morning show. And I want to thank each and every one of you for making this first full week of all the new shows a success. And it wouldn't be possible without you. I've been watching and reading the chats, comments and questions about things they want to see on the morning show. And I'm hoping to bring them to you now. And hopefully we get to do this more in the future. And again, if something happens and maybe it won't work out on a particular day, maybe we'll bring another topic in the morning. So with that being said, thank y'all so much for always coming out and showing your love and support to the channel. Don't forget to check out all these other channels in the chat, Jennifer's channels as well. And as I say before I end each and every show, the link is at the top of the chat. You're more than welcome to come and join us after the show is over. And as I say before I end each and every show, love always, love is always free. Please be kind to one another till we meet into another chat. Have a blessed and fabulous day. And until we meet again, have a blessed weekend. And we'll see you later. Peace out. And we'll talk after the show, Laura.